Spock. Transmit now.
All right, so good evening and welcome to episode 5 of the Mind Reels. To my left, as always, the illustrious, the wonderful, the amazing Sue Maynard.
That's me.
Who just got adopted this week for her book,
My
Carving
book
the
got
Light.
adopted.
Yeah, she didn't. Carving the Light, so yay.
Yay.
And I've just finished mine that I adopted.
Thank you to Becky, whoever you are.
Yes, wherever you are.
You like it?
Yeah, I just finished mine this morning and sent off my questions to Rama, who should be answering them shortly. Today, once again, we are at the Indigo Starbucks. We're sitting with young actress, and she is young. I actually did the math on her age. She's young. Emily Schooling.
I appreciate that.
Who, despite her young age, has done a lot of stuff. So let's start with the simple getting to know you questions.
Sure.
Tell us about your favorite movies and actors.
Oh, that's an interesting question. First off, my top 3 movies, Battle Royale, which
Oh,
is a Japanese film. Some people know, some people don't.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a bunch of grade 9 kids are sent to an island and have 3 days to kill each other off.
And they
So
all
are you
have-
looking forward to Hunger Games or no? Have you read it?
I'm aware of it. I haven't read it.
Okay.
I'm interested to see what they do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was comparing it and I hadn't
Yeah.
seen Battle Royale, so.
And they've all got the little collars around
Oh,
their
yeah.
necks.
So
Yeah.
Okay.
they're very clearly
It's
borrowing
good.
from Japanese. Yeah. My second top favorite movie is Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Awesome movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
That one I can watch over and over again, and I kind of relate a little to Elder Clem.
That's a good
And my third kind of top favorite movie is Anchorman.
Oh,
Okay.
nice choice.
Yeah.
Nice choice.
I used to write papers for that in university. I'd put that
Really?
on in the background and just go to town, vomit my words on the screen, and
It's one of those comfort food movies.
kind of, yeah.
See, just.
Yeah.
Silence of the Lambs.
Silence of the Lambs. Yeah. Awesome. Now, I read your little bio on IMDb,
Okay.
and it says you were 5 when you did your first role. And
Yeah.
I want to say the Sugar Plum. No, not
It
the
was
Sugar
like
Plum Berry.
Country Mouse and like Texas
That's
City
it.
Mouse.
Yes. Yeah.
That was a community theater day camp over the summer I got sent to.
That too, or you wanted to go?
A little bit of both.
Cool.
It's one of those, I want to do this, I want to do this. My mother is actually very sort of fundy Christian. So a lot of the
Okay.
things that I thought were fun, and even more things that I think are fun now, God thinks is terribly wrong. So
Yeah, there's a lot of people that would
Because-
think that way.
Yeah.
That's interesting because we interviewed Mary Croner 2 weeks ago in the same location.
We miss you, Mary.
She came from a Pentecostal background, so there might be a connection there for actresses.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it's one of those who try to break the mold from, I remember like sitting in church and I'd be like 9, 10, very much forced to go for that. And I'd be there like doodling my little notebook like the pastor getting stabbed by lightning or like
God
May
loves
I
you.
be struck down.
Yeah.
And now you kind of drifted away from acting for a little while until you went to university. If I read your
Yeah, basically what happened was I've always loved animals. So until I was basically my last year of high school, I thought, okay, I'm going to go to Guelph for vet medicine. I'm going to go to Guelph for vet medicine. And then what happened was grade 12, I'd had mono, so I missed like a couple months of school. That really sucked. And then I was in my last semester of high school, and I had to go take calculus at the high school the next town over.
Oh, no.
Because I come from a very tiny town. It's called Port Colborne. If you know where it is, I'm sorry.
I do.
Okay, I know where that is.
Creemore doesn't even have a high school.
18,000 people, the seniors had stopped dying. And this is first period. I've never been a morning person. So to do math in the morning with people I don't know at a school I didn't know was just all kinds of stress. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to play, and I'm liking this play business a whole lot better. Oh, wait, I used to like to do this. I used to put on shows in my backyard with my My Little
I
Ponies.
saw that. Yep.
And make...
Little pony.
Oh, yeah. And I made my family come and watch. It was great. So I'm like, you know what? This is what I like. And then I ended up totally switching course and going to Windsor for drama school.
Where
Yeah.
you apparently graduated with honors.
I actually, funnily enough, graduated from Waterloo. There was a long story involving a breakup and a move, and it all worked out for the best and got me
Okay,
here
well,
now.
that's
But yeah, took drama all the way through school, and kind of did like unofficial minors, English, psychology, Japanese,
Japanese,
a
very
little bit of
nice.
everything.
I'm like, yeah, English, me too. Yeah, drama, yeah.
Oh, Japanese.
Psychology, I started off there. Oh,
Yeah.
Japanese, yeah, I
Yeah.
skipped that one.
I actually got to go to Japan for a month,
Oh.
so that was
that's
really
cool.
nice. I
Yeah, I
went
wanna
there and
do
wrote a
that.
play, so.
See, I want to do that. I want to do Japan, and I want to see Tokyo because it's Tokyo. But
Yeah.
I also want to do Kyoto because I love
Like
feudal
the
Japan.
shrines and
yeah,
the-
I
oh.
love all of that. The tradition.
See, I say go to the shrines, go to the hot springs, do some of like the touristy stuff, but
Yeah.
I was actually really lucky. I got to live with a host family.
Oh,
Nice.
cool.
So I got
Yeah.
to live like a Japanese
Like a
person
Japanese
rather than
Than a tourist.
Yeah.
That's the best way to learn a culture or language.
Oh,
Yeah.
just be thrown in? Yeah.
The thing is, I grew up very geeky too, so the Japanese culture always made sense because I would watch Sailor
People
Moon.
get me.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I got into Japanese culture because of
Right.
Sailor Moon.
Right.
Yeah.
And it just kind of spiraled from there. But I'm like, this just inherently makes sense. So,
What is Department 7?
Department 7 is a production company sort of based out of London. Basically, they do horror, they do stunt work. A lot of, like, some of the members are professional stunt guys. They've done, like, stuff in Japan. Our one guy, OT, actually worked on, like, Lost and whatnot. So it's kind of a nice sort of collaboration of really talented, really driven people. Very pleased to be working with the director, Jeff Kimbrell.
Yeah.
He's someone that I've done a couple films with now. I met him last year doing a short film, and we just wrapped one called One Week in Winchcombe, which is a feature
I have
horror.
written down to talk
Yeah.
about. Yeah. I actually watched your sizzle reel today for it. I'm watching it, and there is a moment there that actually kind of, I'm like, okay, Emily's got some chops here.
Well, thank you.
Where I don't know what the scene or the context of the scene is, but you're under a blanket or a sheet, and you look scared to death. And the camera's just like right about, it's like a medium shot,
Yeah.
and you're just right there mid-frame, and you look freaked out. And I'm like, okay. And the rest of it, you just look like you're covered in blood half the time.
That's a little of that too. There's a couple buckets of blood over the head, a couple really cold showers, but
Okay, now what is it about then?
One Week in Winchcombe, it's a spoof on reality shows.
Okay.
So
And buckets of blood are involved, I'm in.
Oh yeah. Basically, the premise is that there's a group of 5 people that if you spend a week in this haunted house, everyone gets a share of the money. But the more people that leave, the more money you get. But the premise behind this is that that property they stay on is actually not just haunted but malevolent.
Nice.
So it's a very deep, dark film. That's what Jeff writes a lot of really well. Sort of, delving into the human psyche a little bit.
Okay.
The character that I'm playing in this, she's a theoretical physicist who also has a little bit of a troubled past. So.
And you've got that little great speech at the beginning of the sizzle reel where they ask you if you believe in ghosts. No. Yes,
Yeah.
if you believe in ghosts, then you have this great little speech about how it's not theoretically possible, blah blah blah. It's like really, really well. It's a really well written speech. And then it asks you if you're scared of haunted houses or something like that, and you say yes. And then say, well, didn't you just say you didn't believe in ghosts? And then you have this great speech about fear is irrational, and so you've got no control over that. I'm just like, that's all right.
Yeah.
I'll see it. It was a
She's so
fantastic.
screwed.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, all the characters in the movie end up being screwed in a big bad way, but
Wow.
honestly, it was so much fun to shoot though. Like, funny thing is for me, I'm actually a fair bit of a method actor. When I'm into the
So
scene,
you've got that there,
yeah,
too.
yeah, I'm in there, deep dark place. Like, when we're filming, I can pretty much cry on command if I need to,
Nice.
because I sort of take myself there. With Winchcombe, actually, kind of part of the method acting was I ended up gaining about 10-15 pounds for the role.
Wow.
So
Very De Niro.
I'm kind of, working it back off now, but the thing is, like, with it, that she's not supposed to be the hot girl.
Right.
I don't know how much you know about kind of horror theory, but
Yeah.
basically my character is the final girl.
Because she's the one nobody expects to survive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Should be dead in the first 5 minutes.
No, not quite.
Okay,
Not
now.
just having sex in the first 5 minutes.
Now you brought up the whole fact that you're very much a method actor. Now, how do you approach a role then when it's offered to you or you choose it?
Basically, depending on what the role is, kind of what level of preparation I need to put into it.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something like a comedy, for example, there's sort of a different preparation than something that's like really dramatic, really gritty, really sort of upsetting. My next project, actually, one of them, I have a few different next projects, that's the way it goes.
One of the next projects.
Yeah, I'm actually doing a feature film under the working title Equitas.
Yeah.
And for that, the character I'm playing is utterly deplorable, a little bit vapid, a little bit spiteful, So for that, I'm actually, like, physically I'm sort of preparing for it by, working off the Winchcombe weight and then some.
Okay.
I want to get very, gaunt, bony, that sort of ironic hipster look a little bit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just, those are the girls that I want to, like, shove down cheeseburgers down their throats on the subway,
And then slap them and walk away.
Yeah, yes. See, so I'm becoming something that I loathe, so that I could, portray that even more.
Yeah.
And the thing is, too, like, I'll do some sort of mental prep work as well.
Right.
One audition piece I was using for a while was a piece from 448 Psychosis, which is a play by Sarah Kane.
Okay.
Very kind of mentally disturbing in some ways. And for that, it's the same thing. It's like you're almost on the verge of a breakdown.
Right.
But that kind of gives you that edge to perform, to be able to show it. And, lots of cookies and snuggles when I'm done.
Yeah. That stresses me out just thinking about
Yeah.
it.
All right, now what are some of the other films you've done are Stiffs on the Green, just finished, I think, if I read it right.
We actually just had the premiere for that, and that was like mid-October, just around Thanksgiving.
Okay.
That was lots of fun. That was a dark comedy about golf. So it was the director's commentary about how much he hates this game of golf because his father is a very avid golfer, and he just channeled that into a film project.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
That was, again, like a kind of a quasi-horror, I'd call it, but it was more dark comedy.
Yeah.
Again, my character's very, like, but it was a bubbly sort of acid,
Yeah.
which is about the furthest thing from I Am Normal. Like, there's a lot of,
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that was sort of like a physically comedic role, I'd say, where, it was almost slapstick in a way. We were kind of like golf cheerleaders in a way, me and these two other girls.
Very good.
So there's a lot of, like, leg kicking and flailing and,
The other one I've got written down is Black Eve,
Yeah.
which I don't know a thing about. I just saw the name listed.
That was another horror film.
I'm seeing
I
a
get-
trend.
I
see
get a really
trend.
weird mix of horror and comedy, actually. And that also just finished and screened at the Toronto Underground at the end of, right for Halloween.
All right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Basically, the premise behind that is it's a group of people partying in a department store,
Okay.
and they get picked off one by this killer. Yeah. And again, I kind of lucked out with I'm the last one to die in this film, so I'm kind of sensing another trend there a little bit. But,
Yeah.
save the best for last. Kind of.
For you.
There you go.
Yeah.
Right.
But that was lots of fun too. With that one we shot in Brampton on location. We got to use it was like a Sears or something that closed down.
Oh, wow.
And that was all January, February last year that film.
Very cool.
I was basically had one scene where I get killed. I'm not going to spoil it in case people go see it, but I get killed in a very gory, violent, brutal way.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I'm laying there on the floor for these next 4 hours, covered in blood. It's February. There's no heat on. I was brutally sick for like 3 weeks after because.
Oh, Lord.
Oh,
Yeah.
how you suffer for your craft right there. It's hilarious. Now, you brought up comedy,
Yeah.
and I did see that you occasionally do improv at the comedy bar.
Yeah.
All right, now, do you write your own material, and how do you know what's funny?
I do both stand-up and improv, actually.
All right.
Right now, I do stand-up occasionally. For that, I write all my own material.
Okay.
What I find with stand-up is I'm often the only girl in the room, or like the only girl on stage, which one of my openings is, oh, I know what you're thinking, finally nice to see hair boobs on stage. Not as nice as the last guys, but...
Which also you see far too much of in comedy clubs.
A little bit. But like I've had some sets where like all the guys in the room but one will be like, oh, that was a hilarious set.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know, I think some of them are just a little bit butthurt that female comics they aren't doing kind of the same style as guys.
Yeah. As if they can get away with, maybe that's not the right way to phrase it, but I don't know, I find women comics generally have a different take on the same situation that the guys have been talking about for years, and now all of a sudden it sounds fresh and new because it's coming from a woman.
Yeah.
From a totally different point of view.
Yeah. See, my thing is I'm not afraid to swear. I'm not afraid to, talk about sex. I've seen some girls that they play, not necessarily ditzy stand-up, but some people play very clearly more feminine. Some people, but anyways, no.
Safer.
Yeah. I write what I know.
Okay.
And then in terms of improv, I have both my own comedy troupe.
And
Pandora's
Sidewalks.
Sidewalks. I'll get into that in a second. And then I also do student team shows every Wednesday.
Yeah.
So that's actually with the Impatient Theater Company. And I'm on, I think, like my 5th student team now. I've been a bit of a slack ass with doing classes. So. But basically, I work with a great group of people, and we kind of rotate every few months. So you play with new people, you get kind of to learn how they work. And then,
Yeah.
we do shows once a week that are absolutely free, so every Wednesday at 7. And then my own troupe, Pandora's Toy Box. Basically, that sort of started, I was asked by Rebecca Simkin.
Okay.
She does the Sunburst Awards
Yep.
to do some improv as like a fundraiser. So from that kind of, I have sort of a loose collective of people that I work with. We did a couple shows. We did it at Astra. We did it at SF Ontario last year.
Cool.
Kind of my own thing I'm getting into with that is I'm actually starting to do improvised funerals. This is a
All
format
right.
I'm kind of creating, working on myself. So we're still kind of working out the kinks, and I've only done one set of a funeral so far. But I don't know. I've always had sort of a morbid fascination with death. So
No, I don't see that at all. What was on a horror movie? No.
a little bit.
Playing in a pool of blood for hours.
Yeah. But yeah, so basically we get like a few prompts from the audience.
Right.
We build a eulogy around that, and then we kind of go to like the life and times of this person.
Cool.
So we've had a lot of really kind of good gold moments come out of that.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Well, you've done now 2 web series. That's 30-something dice.
Oh, 30 Days of Dice Living.
That's it.
Yeah.
I knew the other
Yeah.
one because it's a great word. And that would be the Boob Show.
Yeah.
Which stands for, I want to say brilliant, but it's not brilliant.
Bodacious?
Bodacious? Opinionated is in there.
Outspoken,
opinionated babe.
Yeah. And once I actually have internet back at home, there will be new episodes of both coming. Just I'm also, like I said, in the middle of a move right now, so tech savvy can't come till Monday, and I've been totally first world problems, but I've been sitting there going, I miss my internet.
Watched about 3. No, it must have been 5 of them that I watched today, just to kind of freshen up.
Yeah.
And my favorite one by far was your zombie apocalypse one.
Thank you.
Brilliant. She gives this whole speech about, do you really want the zombie apocalypse to happen? Because all of this would happen, and it was really, really funny.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it.
And if you're in an MRI machine, you cannot get out of there.
You would know.
Zombies
Yeah.
come.
You would know that better than anybody, I'm afraid. Can you give us like a little rundown on both the shows?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the Boob Show is sort of, it's a one-woman sketch. I'd say the boob is kind of a caricature of myself. I tend to pick something that, catches my attention every week or whatever. Sometimes it's a rant, sometimes it's a more comedic thing.
Yeah.
And I just kind of go to town, I film it, I have fun with it. I've gotten in trouble for a few episodes.
Good for you.
People assume that I'm talking about them, and they get, again, I'm a little butthurt,
Aww.
I actually had one girl.
What's with the guilt you're feeling?
Yeah. Now a former friend basically accused me of calling her an emotional vampire because I said it in an episode. I'm like, well, it's not about you, but clearly you're a little bit
If you
guilty.
want to take something from this and improve yourself.
But yeah, basically it's just something I have a lot of fun with.
Yeah.
And then my other one, 30 Days of Dice Living, is actually sort of an experiment in neurohacking and happiness. One thing I do is I carry a bag of dice with me at all times. It's somewhere here in my purse. And I roll on different decisions.
All right.
Interestingly enough, Big Bang Theory actually incorporated it
Yes.
fairly recently as well. I'm like, oh hey, I'm a hipster nerd again. People are I'm doing these things before they're cool. So I have actually a whole set of dice in here.
Nice.
Yeah. D20.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
There's a D6 somewhere there. There we go. Yeah.
Nice.
Kind of basically one of my side projects is neurohacking. So ways to kind of make my brain function better. And, also kind of exploring too what makes me happy. And a lot of it too is like experiences make me happy rather than spending money, rather than, or like for example, last night I was out at the bar, I'm like, okay, do I drink beer or do I drink something else? So I rolled on it, I'm like, okay, Jack and Coke. Yeah.
I'm going to start carrying around dice in my pocket.
Yeah.
For that very reason.
It's a really good way to make decisions, actually. And the thing is, too, like the dice have pushed me to do, or stopped me from doing things that,
Yeah, I was gonna say because we were talking about how you like to push yourself on terms of what makes you afraid, and you use the dice for that too. Like you deliberately put stuff on there that you don't necessarily really want to do, but you will if you roll it.
Yeah, or I do like what I call a control variable.
Right.
Something that'll be like do nothing. Like I had one day that I'm like, okay, well, what crazy thing should I do? One of my options was be normal. And that's the one that came up.
And then I'd sit there for like an hour and going, what do I mean by normal?
I know. The person I was seeing at the time suggested it. I'm like, you're a jerk, but fine.
You went down south to the States. and you have an uncredited appearance in The Dark Knight Rises.
Yes, I do.
Now, can you talk about that at all, or are you
I
not
can-
allowed?
I can say some things.
Okay.
I just kind of watch what I'm saying.
Yeah, what? You're a hot fan or something?
A hot football fan. So basically, and I don't know how close you guys have been pulling like the spoilers.
No, I don't tend
Okay.
I tend to stay away from most of the
Okay.
stories, just about.
Basically, we filmed a scene at Heinz Field.
Okay.
So there's like the Pittsburgh Steelers were there.
Yeah.
Post-shooting, actually had a really good chat bar with Heinz Ward's manager.
Okay.
That was all fun.
Nice.
But basically, so there is a football scene in the new Batman
But
movie.
yes, I've seen the pictures now from the site.
Yeah,
Yes,
and the scene that I was in, Tom Hardy was there. He's a very sexy man, let me just say. Well, obviously Chris Nolan was there. Yeah.
Very cool.
Walker in his blazer. That's kind of like his perpetual directing
Yeah,
outfit, I
yeah,
think.
exactly.
Yeah, every time I've seen him, yeah, he's always
Like
very...
Spielberg with the ball
Yeah,
cap.
always
Yeah.
and Raimi, he always wears a suit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to come home with a little bandana that says Gotham Rogues.
Nice.
So,
That
yeah.
would be very cool.
I feel like I got some good on-screen time, but we'll see how they
Yeah,
cut
we'll
things
see what-
together in the
yeah,
final,
exactly.
obviously.
Yeah.
But
But we'll be
basically,
watching for you in that scene.
We were there to cheer for the football team, and I will say things were a little explosive.
Nice.
Interpret from that what you will.
Very nice. We did our own football scene.
We sure did.
Yeah, and we need to get an interview, Tim and April. We're just saying. With,
But we love you.
With the upcoming Dead Before Dawn.
I play as a sports fan more than I've ever actually watched sports. Like,
Yeah, I think that's about right for me too.
I think
Yeah.
my biggest thing was I actually really do like watching football. But like more like college football or high
Yeah.
school football or whatever, where the guys are out there because they want to play and not because they're making money.
Oh, yeah. See, I enjoy watching sports fans watch sports.
Yeah,
There's something, yeah, you know, the guys that yell at the TV, throw
Yeah.
things, yeah,
Watching the Olympic hockey with the guys at work was
yeah.
about the most fun I've ever had.
That's awesome. No, I like a good football match. Not football, but actual football.
Yeah, proper British football.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that we're mining pretty much everything for a podcast.
We are. You've done a lot of Canadian television and a lot of commercials. So, what are some of your favorites? Like, just recently you did Dean Erica.
Yeah, I had kind of a nice little SOC spot on that. Basically, Aaron and I were side by side for most of the scenes, so.
So
that
you're
was-
there, you made the shot. That's
Yeah,
what you said.
I haven't actually seen the episode, so I don't know. But everyone's like, "Oh, I saw you in Being Erica." I'm like, "Goody." Yeah.
Now,
Who knows? I'm terrible. I barely watch any TV. I've been watching things on Netflix lately.
Yes.
Yeah. Right now it's been Mad Men and Invader Zim.
Christina Hendricks. I can always watch Christina Hendricks.
Yeah.
Can't really.
I
All
both
right,
love and hate Mad Men. So.
Oh yeah, the first time I
Yeah.
watched that episode, I'm like, really? They treat women like that?
Yeah, I had a hard time with it. It made me
Yeah.
kind of
Really
nauseous
bothered me,
and like
yeah.
tense, and I really wanted to smoke again.
That's
It's
the
been
thing.
like 8 years
Yeah.
or something,
It
and I'm
makes
like,
me
oh
want
my
to drink,
god.
smoke, and have sex.
Yeah.
Like.
And find women wearing sweaters. Sweaters.
Yeah. And then the pants that come up to both
Yeah.
ears.
Yeah, exactly.
Miming just under my boobs.
Next week you are on stage.
Yes, I am.
What are you doing next week?
Next week we have a show at the Russian Canadian Theatre Center. So it's like Dufferin and Finch.
Okay.
It's a one-act comedic play called The Other Side of the Rhyme.
Okay.
So
Cool.
what that is basically it's kind of twisted fairy tales.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So I've been having lots of fun in rehearsal for that. I still am. We're getting like costumes finalized and stuff. We're doing the tech week this week. Counting down to that, but tickets are $10 in advance, and $12 at the door. So helping
Opens
me
when?
Pardon?
Open.
It opens this coming Thursday.
Okay.
So we're running November 17th to 19th. So all shows 8 p.m.
All right. Okay.
Now you've done stage, you've done film. Is there one you prefer?
There are, in some ways, I really prefer film.
Okay.
Just because it's very, in the end, it's very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of how I am as a person.
Okay.
You know, I'm happy to sit and socialize, but you see some actors that they're very out there, they're very on all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not me. That gets tiring. I can play that game well, but
But only for so long. Yeah.
at the end of the day, it's like, let me come home to my cat. You know, it's 4 a.m.
Ah.
That's the other thing too is, you know, as much as I love doing theater, having that live audience, having that
Mhm.
feedback,
Yeah, I like that.
I kind of enjoy sort of the erraticness of film. Sometimes you might be on set till 4 a.m. and while you're there, it's 12th hour and on. It's kind of gritty and brutal, and you're just like, oh god, I'm so tired. But like I still kind of come home feeling very fulfilled.
Okay.
And for me, like I've always been a night person, and there's been some like 6 a.m. shoots, which I kind of hate, but I do. But for the most part, most of the projects I've had, we've filmed like evenings into late nights,
Yeah.
and that kind of fits more. I am freaking brilliant creative on 4 in the morning. No matter how tired I am during the day,
Yeah.
I will wake the hell up at like 10 or 11 at night
Wow.
and be like, let's go, guys. And
Here we go.
I kind of have this theory too that all creative people are like dreadful insomniacs.
I have my moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like everyone works better at night than I know.
It's true. And like I've been at VidTech for 11 years, and I'm still not used to getting up at 6 a.m. I
Yeah.
still can't, and I've been doing it every day pretty much.
And your body's like, oh God, why?
Yeah. And then I'll be like, I'll be tired all day, and then you'll like, leave work, and then even if I just go home, I'll like see something really good on TV, or I'll throw in a movie or something, and then I'm up, and I'm like,
you're with.
and I'm looking at the clock, and I'm like, it's 11 o'clock, like 6 o'clock.
I should go to bed really fast.
fast.
Yeah. See, for me too, like the other thing I really enjoy about film is that it's not linear.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I don't tend to think very linearly as it is.
Right.
With a play, you see everything from beginning to end.
Yeah.
You're always there.
Yeah.
But with film, the end project kind of is always a surprise.
But you also have to find where your character is in that scene, because you're not shooting in a linear way. You have to know exactly what's happened before and after for your character.
Yeah.
And that would probably throw me, I think, further.
I don't know.
That's why there's a director there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Admittedly, too, I'm sometimes a little bit lazy. And it's easier to, memorize these, like, 5 scenes that we're filming tomorrow rather than a whole
Rather than
play.
the whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, say too, like with the new film I'm doing, Equitas, I'm actually playing the lead and all that. So aside from about 2 minutes at the end, I'm on screen almost every frame.
Yeah.
So that's actually going to be a new challenge for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you will literally have to know where your character is in each
Yeah.
scene. That's, wow.
Yeah,
Well,
one of the things I'm actually looking forward to with that film is, if all goes well, I'm actually going to get to crash a car on screen.
Sweet.
Right.
So I'm like, bring that on. Like,
Do it.
and it's one thing you can't do in a theater, right? You can't.
Exactly. You can't practice
Yeah.
much ahead of time
No.
either.
I kind of love doing my own stunts.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
the thing is, too, another thing I love about film is that you can always cheat it a little bit.
Yes.
So something will look absolutely brutal. I'm like, dudes, I'm fine. Like, yeah.
And it's funny that you mentioned
Didn't
that.
even feel it.
Because I read on IMDb once again that you broke your hand off set
Yeah.
during one of your films, but you refused to have it set because of your character's continuity.
Yeah, that was
That's
kind
awesome.
of stupid, kind of awesome. I don't know if you can kind of see it.
Oh yeah, it's totally
Wow.
messed up.
Yeah. Basically what I did, and I shouldn't admit to this, but I will. Again, the person I was seeing at the time really pissed me off. So instead of punching him, I punched through a wall.
Yeah, I've done that at work.
Yeah.
I've never done that.
Yeah, did I mention it was a really bad relationship? But basically, he'd broken my glasses.
Okay, well.
Yeah. In the year we were together, he never replaced them. I was like, and my thing is too, I'm not normally a violent person. Some things will make me brutally angry, and I have to do something to let that frustration out.
Yeah, of course.
So I went off, I hauled off, punched through the wall. And then, ironically, I was moving like 2 weeks after that. So I didn't end up having my hand set until after I moved because we were still filming. And
Whoa.
I just
man.
wrapped it up with a tensor bandage, and
I'm still good.
like it worked. I didn't think it hurt enough to be broken, to be honest. And then I found out, oh yeah, it is broken. And the doctors kind of, they're like, why did you wait to come in? I'm like, well,
It's a long story.
yeah.
Yeah. I have not yet, knocking wood,
Okay.
broken a single bone in my body.
You don't want to.
Well, I'd cry like a
No.
baby. At this point, I would cry like a baby.
Oh,
I fractured my thumb, and I didn't think it was broken. I also didn't think it was fractured. I was actually sort of surprised because
Yeah.
I did it during a volleyball game,
Oh,
and I
yeah.
felt it all
Ooh.
in here.
Did it bend back? Like,
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not even entirely sure when I did it. It just felt like my hand was Charlie horsing a bit, and I kept
Oh,
getting
you're
one
like-
of
yeah.
my friends to massage it and in between and
Yeah.
everything, and I was like, and they're like, that was the worst thing to do. Once they found out, and I went to I finally went to the hospital like a few days later because my wrist started to swell and stuff,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm like,
God.
I don't know, I think I've done something. They didn't do anything. They're like, I think acute tendonitis is what they called it. And I'm
Oh,
like, that
yeah.
doesn't just come on like that.
yeah, it's some kind of repetitive stress.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, the first
I got it
bone,
from typing.
the first bone I ever broke, I broke my ankle in grade 12. the night before opening night of a show I was in.
Oh, dear Lord.
Or sorry, no, it was grade 11. But yeah, basically we were doing Grease, and I was
Nice active show.
yeah, I was out for a walk, whatever, and jumped across a ditch, middle of nowhere by myself. I landed badly on it. Had to like drag my ass back to civilization. Like I'm just like, fuck, that hurts. Like it was like over a kilometer I had to walk too. So it was. I've always been kind of stupidly resilient.
And I just hurt myself, and I don't even have the gratification of saying I broke it. It's just
Yeah.
like, I'm just in a lot of pain, man. But I can't justify it at all.
Yeah.
Brain.
I'm not a masochist, I swear.
Exactly.
Because it says, once again on your Facebook page, that you are an actor. Like, and by actor, I mean you do more than acting. You do acting. You're a photographer. You take pictures.
Yeah.
You do your own editing for the Boob Show. All of this stuff. But that is all you've got listed as employment.
Yep.
Now, how hard is that in today's economic society? How hard is that to get by on?
It's like any other creative career, writing, whatever. It's pretty brutal. I've been working as an actor, like solely as a performer for the past year and a few months now.
Okay.
What I did was when I initially moved to Toronto, I saved up a bunch of money. I kind of worked for a few months after I was in Toronto.
Okay.
But so I have kind of a little bit of savings I tap into as I need to.
Right.
Basically, I'm not rich, but I'm getting by. I'm getting enough work solidly now as an actor to kind of pay the bills. I can't buy everyone around drinks all the time, but the bills are paid kind of
Do you have a roof over your head?
Yeah. Got the cats fed,
Yeah. That really is the more important thing.
Yeah. It's one of those, and like...
I'll go without.
Yeah. I've lucked out, too, in that I have right now a really supportive partner.
Mm-hmm.
We've been together since mid-July. We just moved in together.
Good for you.
Yeah. Met at a bar. Never would have expected.
Never happened.
Yeah.
Lord forbid if either of us, Stu or I, decided to say, oh, we're going to live off our royalty checks of our books. No.
Yeah.
Funny how you pluralize that.
Yeah. Well, even if we pooled our royalty checks,
Yeah.
it wouldn't be enough. So it just, I saw that, and I'm like, I couldn't wrap my brain around that. I mean, I'm not, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you're an irresponsible 20-something or whatever. It's just, that takes balls.
It's honestly, it's a big risk.
Yeah.
But the thing is, like, past me laid up enough good groundwork that I'm doing this for now. If my savings gets below a certain amount, then okay, I'm going to start taking a part-time job again.
Yeah.
But, like, basically what happens is I have, like I said, I have the savings, and then I work background, too.
Okay, yeah.
So, and the thing is, that's a paycheck.
Yeah.
It's not a great acting opportunity, but
it keeps you fed, keeps you going.
I'm going to throw it on the resume.
Yeah. Well, it's the same thing, like, if you were writing,
Mm-hmm.
you might do, like, copywriting for something that pays, and then you do your own writing in your own time.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a creative polymath. Like the photography is something I do on the side. Like, I shoot the occasional wedding. They kind of make me want to shoot myself in the head. But I've also learned what not to do, and for my own wedding, whatever that
You've got
might
like
be.
a whole list of do nots.
Yeah. One thing we've actually joked about is having, a TARDIS at the wedding, just giant nerd. My partner and I were starting to plan our own kind of ceremony now. We're like, time-theme wedding. Have a TARDIS at the reception, have a DeLorean,
Yeah.
Pull up in a DeLorean.
Yeah.
Now I'm helping plan.
Did I mention I'm wearing a Torchwood shirt?
Very cool. And then we can finish up with what else do you have coming up then?
Okay, well, right now, like I said, I'm doing Equitas. That's pre-production. And as well, more Boob Show, more Dice Living. I have my own screenplay I'm working on as well. It's very early days. There's another web series, very, very early pre-production, called Experiment 10. That's, again, with Department 7.
Yeah, I have it written down. Yeah.
That's going to be a whole different kind of fun challenge. That one I get to play the bad guy for once.
Nice.
That's something I don't get to do very often is, I'm more sort of the hero, the anti-hero, but to actually play a villain is something I'm very much looking forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to play it
They say that's the most fun.
Well, yeah, and you don't want to play it as a villain. You want to play it as you're right.
Oh, yeah.
And this is my worldview.
Well, it's like, like, say, for example, the Buffy Big Bad.
Yeah.
Like, someone like Glory. She's,
That's
She's a god.
She was.
No, right now my main goal is to get through, finish unpacking.
Yeah.
And kind of in less fun news, but I'm also currently being sued.
Always fun.
which is all kinds of exciting. I've said to a bunch of friends, like, I'm never moving while in a play while being sued ever again.
Wow.
But what happened was I auditioned for this guy last year.
Mhm.
Basically, as an actor, you go to a lot of auditions. You assume everyone's professional, but sometimes they're not.
Of course.
This guy is what I would call a serial predator.
Oh.
So he gets these people to sign what he calls releases, tries to enforce them as contracts. Now, last year, I went to court with these two other girls that he was also suing. So he essentially waited until I just got a new agent, was in this play, had all these good life developments, and he served me court papers.
Wow.
So I have no doubt that the justice system will see him for what it is. But in the meantime, I wrote in my defense, I'm also doing a counterclaim. Because the thing is, too, I'm a big mouth. I have no problem being the strong woman, but when I see something that's morally wrong, that enrages me, I have no problem putting that person in the place.
Good for you.
And the thing is, this guy has been doing this for 10 years. He expects women to be terrified of him.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no effing way. I am ending your crap.
Nice.
So that's a side project I wish I didn't have, but I'm happy to do at the same time because...
All right, now if people are looking for you on the web,
Okay.
where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter, Emily Schooley. Add me, say hi. I get some weird random people adding me, so I don't always add people back unless I know who they are.
Of course.
I have my fan page on Facebook.
Yeah.
I have my regular Facebook account. There's my website, emilyschooley.com.
Which has a lot of your demo stuff on there.
Yeah.
And has a way to get in touch with you through your agent as well,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. For those people who want to hire you, say Tim, Abro, Jeremy, anybody who's listening.
That's the thing, too. I'm always happy to meet and work with more good people. Look me up, say hi. I usually invite people when provoked. But yeah, and aside from that, just some happy kind of personal life stuff too. I'm looking forward to, like the wedding planning thing.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
The impromptu funeral planning thing.
Yeah, that just sounds brilliant. I want to see one of those.
It's honestly it's lots of fun. Like for me, I'm always my brain's always working. I have so many ideas, and it's distilling them into things I can actually do and accomplish.
Yeah.
I'm very, very type A in that I always want to be going and doing. And a lot of times, even when I'm on set as an actor, I'm like, okay, well, if you did this would work better. I have this costume at home. I can maybe if you set up the shot this way.
Well, I read that. I read that on your testimonial pages that sometimes when you're done with your principal acting bit, you kind of stick around. And one of them said you were learning as an apprentice editor at one point. So.
That's kind of where I picked up some of my editing skills. Yeah, but I know I enjoy having my hands in production no matter what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's that chance to be creative, tell a story. There was actually a project I did a couple years ago where I was lead actor, writer, production manager, and this was over 100 people cast and crew.
Nice.
So that basically ate a summer of my life. Unfortunately, never got finished.
Lots of
but
sleep then.
I noticed so many really unique stories to tell too. Another thing I kind of want to work on is Toronto ghost stories.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we've talked about that a couple of times.
And I have some sort of performance ideas for that, and as well do a set of photos that are kind of double exposed.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we might have to say look us up for that one.
Excellent.
Because the plan is we want to do one of the ghost hunts that's the ghost that's hatched.
Yeah.
We want to do one of those, and just looking at some of the history of Toronto, there's so much going on here. And I'm like, so we both said we need to go see this, we need to do this, and all that
one of the things that actually sort of made me fall in love with Toronto was there's a book by Michael Ondaatje called In the Skin of a Lion.
Yeah.
And that deals with the building of the Bloor Danforth Viaduct and a few other things. And it romanticized Toronto in a way that was really accessible for me.
And then you got here.
Yeah, I'm just like, I love this city.
It's one of my favorite cities in the world.
Yeah.
Which is weird because I don't know why the rest of Canada has a hate on for it. But I saw that.
I think it's just it's a big city. Going back to my mother, she's actually afraid to drive the 401.
My mom's not a big fan of that either.
Yeah. But I'm just like, give me the 24-hour buses, give me the city life,
There's always something going on. Always. As we've seen with your
It's
stuff.
always talking about itself anyway, so maybe
Yeah.
that's what people don't like.
Yeah.
And we're starting to get
We're
a little
mouthy
more,
city.
Yeah, self-referential on TV now too.
Yeah,
you know.
very much so. Very much so. That's probably it. Oh, now they're admitting they're Toronto?
You know, Canadians
Not
are
like
supposed
a
to be
clean New
quiet.
York?
And,
We're all very well mannered and reserved.
Except this table's here.
Yeah. All
I
right.
actually spoke in the States a couple of years ago.
Mhm.
I was just doing kind of like DIY filmmaking stuff, and I got told I seemed very un-Canadian, which from them I took as a compliment.
Yeah.
You just fit right in here.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we wrap it up here? Emily, thank you for coming in and joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it gave us a chance to learn a little bit more about you and put, so hopefully we'll get a chance to sit down and talk again and
Yeah,
hear
I'm
about more of
happy
your
to
projects.
hang out, chat, whatever.
Yeah.
See, I find for me too, just because acting is so erratic, there's oftentimes I have to sacrifice the social or sacrifice whatever
Of course.
to go to auditions to prepare to be on set. And there are days I wish I had the 9 to 5 job. It's like I could come home and play video games. No. I know.
It's funny you should say because I'm loving it. For the first time in my life, I'm
Yeah.
doing the 9 to 6.
Yeah.
And
8:30 to 6.
yeah, 8:30 to 6.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I've got my evenings free. I have my weekends off. I never had that. For 20 years, I did not have that. Whereas
Nah, I still don't have my weekends
I
off.
know, I'm sorry.
And my evenings are like, I don't get home till 7, and that's just if I go straight home.
And then
And it's like, I
Yeah.
gotta feed the cats, make dinner, eat dinner,
make lunch for the next day.
make lunch the next day. Yeah, I get everything all done, and then I'm like, well, I had time to like watch a thing that I could sort of concentrate on
Yeah.
TV or whatever,
Write a blog.
and then I'm tired, so I should probably go to bed because 6 o'clock's coming up soon.
Yeah.
I can't drink as much rum and coke at night then.
That might be the problem. But yes, Emily, thank you very much for joining us.
Well, thank you for
coming.
having me.
Yeah. I think we're slowly going to work our way through the circle of friends we have because a lot of them do a lot of stuff that people should hear about.
That's the thing, there's a lot of brilliant creative nerds, like,
There are.
and we all kind of like our own little things that we do, but to me it's like I always like to find more people to collaborate with.
Yeah.
That's the thing is
Ghosts, keep us in mind for
Yes.
Ghosts. We'll do Ghosts.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
I want to get out with my camera and I want to like record EVPs everywhere.
All right, well then, once again, for the Mind Reels, this is Stu Maynard and Tim Ryan saying good night, thank you, and good evening, or what have you. Or whatever
That's
time
the
you're
way
listening
Stu
to this.
sees it.
That's the way Stu sees it. I still haven't got my own little catchphrase yet.
That's the way the cookie crumbles.
Well, I guess they had it coming.
We all have it coming, kid.